Hello and welcome back to the New Zealand campus of innovation and sport. It's the last match of the day and it's the penultimate day of the 2024 World Wheelchair Rugby Paralympic Qualification Tournament. And we are getting down to the business end. This is Canada versus Germany. It is the second semi-final. The first semi-final that finished around an hour ago saw Australia see off Brazil 62-37, and they booked their ticket for Paris. Remember, the two finalists go through to the Paralympics in 6 months' time in Paris, and also there's going to be one extra ticket up for grabs. So the winner of the third place match tomorrow will get not only a bronze medal, but also a ticket to the Paralympics. My name's Drew Lilly. Alongside me I have Amanda Lowry, and it's a pretty big and impressive squad that the Canadians have got.
I know, I was just looking at that, just thinking about the power that exists out there, looking to see some of that pace.
Yes, any squad that's got Zach Medell in there is going to do very well indeed. There he is to the left of your screen, their main high pointer, the number 33. He's going to be the one that most of the focus is going to be on.
And there's quite a difference between sort of spinal injuries versus the quad amps. The quad amps are just these beautiful humans just missing a few bits who have some serious pace on them. And that's exactly what he brings to this party.
He certainly does. Germany with perhaps a more balanced lineup. They do have a 3.5 pointer in Marco Herbst, but they're going to be relying on their mid and their low pointers, in particular mid pointer Josko Wilke, and then low pointers along the lines of Britta Kripke. They have Britta Kripke and Masha Mosel, two female players, which means that they can have an extra 1 point out on court, 0.5 points for every female player you have, but we'll get into that once the match starts. But a couple of minutes ago, one of our colleagues spoke to Patrick Cote, who is the manager of the Canada squad.
Patrick, big game coming up, qualification on the line?
Yeah, of course. Well, we want to punch our ticket for Paris today, so yeah, we're not taking Germany lightly, so looking forward to a great match here.
And for Canada today, you'll be running Zach quite a bit. Zach's quite a star on the stage, right?
Yeah, well, Zach's the best at what he does, so obviously we're going to be starting Zach. I'm like, trust everybody on my squad. All 12 players can probably help us qualify today, so yeah, planning on going deep into the bench. Yeah.
Great, well, go well.
Thank you.
Patrick Cote, who is the head coach for Canada, and then we also spoke to Svenja Pohl, who is the team manager for Germany.
Svenja, big game, this game, victory, and you're into the Paralympics?
Yes, that's what we want to. We want to win. We want to try to win. Canada is a big team we need to defeat, so we will see. Hopefully.
And for Germany, when was the last time you went to the Paralympics?
I remember 2008. I think we have been the last time to Paralympics, and now it's time to be there again.
Well, good luck and go well.
Thank you.
So ready to get underway, everybody absolutely poised. There is the German coach, Christoph Werner, on the left, and then Svenja Pohl, whom we just spoke to, on the right. In between, we have Christian Riedel, their assistant coach, who is 53 years young. 53 is in the prime of his life.
Just a baby.
All the best people are 53. Slightly younger than that, Zach Medell. He is poised to get us underway.
And those teams just positioning themselves for that tip-off.
Brazil watching on. They lost the first semi-final, so they will play the losers of this match in the third and fourth place playoff in a desperate bid to get the last ticket for the Paralympics that will start in just under 6 months' time. But whoever wins this is guaranteed a spot in the final and in the Paralympics. And Germany get the first tip. Stefan Wecker picking it up. The give and go. And there we have it. Germany in the lead. Zach Medell, of course, then goes flying down the other end, as is his wont. An incredibly quick player. He's played all around the world. He is one of those people that manages to make a living from wheelchair rugby. He's played in the United States, played in the UK, played in the Australian Championships as well. Canada playing in black and Germany in dark grey, so hopefully you're not watching this in black and white. Medell over once again. Canada, who failed to qualify directly. There was just one spot up for grabs for the Paralympics for the Americas, and that was handed out at the Para-Pan Games. You have the Pan Am Games and then the Para-Pan Games after that. They were held in Santiago, Chile in November last year, and there was only one spot up for grabs. Canada defeated USA 46-41 in the group stages, and then when it came down to the final, it was always going to be those two again, and USA got the better of them when it really mattered, winning 57-51. So USA went through directly. They are already sure of their ticket to Paris, and Canada looking to book their spot now. Wecker back to Herbst. Taking their time there because Debley is in the bin for Canada.
And be trapped.
The outlet is always going to be Zach Medell. Just drops the shoulder. And those are big shoulders to drop, aren't they?
They are.
First between Wecker and Kripke, and then between Wecker and Wilke.
Nice.
You have a wide variety of ages. Josko Wilke, just 22 years old. They also have Masha Mosel on the bench, 46. I'm sure she won't mind me mentioning her age. And then you've got Christian Riedel, who is their assistant coach and also on the bench, and he's 53 years old. Oh, there was a big hit there.
But see how Kripke, the lower pointer there, just took out that high pointer so he could roll through for the score. So the low pointers do a lot of work in games like this, just trying to keep the threats away, making lines, making space.
Matt Debley, who plays his club rugby for Michigan. You say Michigan's in the United States, but it is just over the border from Canada. You go through the Windsor Tunnel from Ontario into Michigan. Zach Medell plays his club rugby all around the world. Wecker with the give and go to Marco Herbst.
Beautiful over the top throw there to get away from the big hands.
Germany going try for try with Canada at the moment.
Look at the pace he has.
Germany patient in their build-up, and it's working well at the moment. Wilke knows he won't have the wheels to out-push Zach Medell, so he gives it to his 3.5 pointer, Marco Herbst.
Germany's got a nice corner over there. Oh, missed.
Tough one there for Britta Kripke to try to reel in. She's a low pointer, just 1.0. It was always the first turnover that we have. It's a corner inbound for the Canadians. Tosses the ball forward, then Medel will get on the end of it, and that is exactly what has just happened. World rankings between these two. Germany are 9th and Canada 5th. Bit of good fortune there for Germany. That went off the back of the chair of Debley. So it's going to be an inbound for Germany, and we're going to have a few changes, a few substitutions.
And sometimes that move is quite purposeful, but you have to be a really good shot from that distance, I think.
You've got, yes, that was perfectly aimed right at the back of the chair at a certain angle, and it's going to go out quickly enough that that man, Zach Medel, can't catch up with it.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it on purpose, then with a chance to level things up.
Leaving the court, someone's just been taken out.
So it's going to be another inbound for Germany. One of the Canadians was pushed over the line, but since there wasn't a German about to score a try, it's not a penalty try.
And before the goal scored, some people will come and sit up on the line there to try and block him from getting back in, and it will force him to then be the inbounder.
We've had a change of three-pointer for Canada. Debley has gone off and Rio Kovac has come on. He's actually a 2.5-pointer, and that enables them to play their co-captains Trevor Hirschfield and Patrice Dagenet. And then, of course, as soon as I say that, off they go. A first coach's timeout called by Patrick Cote. You have two coaches' timeouts. So you can see Canada, it's 7 apiece, and then 4 all in terms of the 30-second timeouts that the players can call, and then 1 and 2. Germany have their 2 coaches' timeouts left. Canada just with the 1. I think Medel is going to play probably the vast majority of this match. We have not only a spot in the final, but as I keep saying, a ticket for the Paralympics up for grabs today. Over the next hour, whoever wins this is going to Paris. And Canada the favourites for that. And they're going to want to ice this match sooner rather than later. But Germany matching them try for try at the moment.
Just quite measured, just quite strategic and taking it quite slow.
This is very much Germany's first lineup. That's the team that they will go to start virtually all of their matches. Beautiful pass over the top.
And that corner was made by Kripke, just holding all those other players back. Like I said, slight girl crush, because her function and her way on the court is something I could only ever aspire to be.
Kripke, who plays for Hamburg in the north of Germany. We've got Mascha Morsel and Marco Herbst, who play for Hanover, also up in the north. Herbst also plays for Leipzig. So he plays, there are various, there's 2 competitions in Germany. There's a lower rung of club competitions and then a regional one, and that was very well done there by Wilke to make sure he got rid of the ball before he was pushed back over the line. But they've been forced to take one of their first timeouts.
I think what goes unnoted with wheelchair rugby is just the level of camaraderie that it creates and the opportunities for engagement and using your body in a new way. It's such an awesome sport. So if you have an opportunity to play, please do so.
Yes, if you're looking at all the equipment and think, well, my chair doesn't look like that, don't worry. Whenever you come along, if you find a local club, there will be somebody there who will lend you a chair. I'm sure when you played your very first match, Amanda, you were in a hand-me-down chair.
Yep, from probably about 1963. It was illegal as, but it didn't matter. I got on court and I rolled into a space where you buggers with legs were the odd ones out, and there was a whole sense of sort of coming home when I found the wheelchair rugby crew, and I think that's often more important than the game itself. But the game's awesome too.
I doubt whether your game chair would have been from 1963, because up until the 1990s, I think the first wheelchair rugby World Championship was held in Switzerland in Nottwil in 1995, and there still were some players who just had their regular chairs to play in. They did, yes, their day chairs. They didn't actually have game chairs. Only one or two of them.
Slight exaggeration then, okay? Probably 1997.
Medel shows a clean pair of wheels, as is his wont. Kovac was there in the corner to help him out. Germany, though, still matching Canada try for try.
Just precision passing, really, isn't it?
And I do like the fact that they've got their own flag waver here. That's part of the entourage.
One of our local teams has a cowbell, so I prefer the flag.
Okay, right, yes. Having spent 20 years living in Switzerland, I've had enough of cowbells, so I will. I prefer a flag waver. There he is. Going back to your high school German, we've had some of your vocabulary over the first few matches. Was that in time? We'll get back to that later. No, it wasn't. You could see the referee there saying that ball was not corralled before it went over the line. So Wilke does get a hold of it, but you could see that his front wheels were over the line before he could catch it. So the ball had, strictly speaking, gone out of bounds. And that is a big turnover in the context of what has been a very, very tight first quarter. Austrian referee there, Katharina Adler. And there we go. All of a sudden, Canada have their biggest lead so far, and their biggest lead is a mere 2 points.
But 2 points in wheelchair rugby is a lot when you see how tight the competition is.
Herbst lets that one come over his shoulder. So we're down into the last 90 seconds. And this is the time where Wilke makes sure he grabs that one before he goes over line this time. So what is huge, we have 4 quarters and possession will alternate. You're about to see the chair in the middle saying that the next possession, you can see a big red arrow there pointing left to right, and the team attacking left to right is Canada. So they will get the next contested possession, which likely will be at the start of the second quarter. So they will be given the ball at the start of the second quarter, much along the lines of basketball. Whoever doesn't win the first tip-off gets the next possession after that. So Canada are going to look to get the last score of the first quarter and the first score of the second as Anthony Letourneau goes backwards over the line. Germany now want to score as quickly as they can. Well,
whoa.
Down goes Wilke. No sympathy from Masha Mosel. Picked that one up well. And that was more an accidental trip. It was no
purpose in
no
it.
crashing into the back or spinning foul. So Germany scored as quickly as they could there. 49.4 seconds left. The shot clock is 40 seconds, and the game clock will start as soon as Medel touches it now. So even if Canada take all 40 seconds to score, Germany will still get a possession again afterwards. So that was very good, quick scoring. Now the one thing that Canada can do here, you can see a shot clock just on the right of your screen. It's just gone out, and when Medel gets further forward, there we go, 15-14. He can run that down, take a timeout if he wants to.
But instead he just knocked Kripke out of court.
Incurring the wrath of my co-commentator.
Exactly, she gets in the sin bin. They then get to attack the key with only 3 players defending, and you can't go anywhere near the line, because if you get knocked out of court you end up in the sin bin as well. So stay away from the line is always the coach's request right now.
15 seconds to go on the match clock, and that penalty resets the game clock as well, the shot clock. So Medel's going to take his time going over. Herb's trying to push him over. Medel scores. 1.9 seconds to go. As soon as this is touched, the clock starts again, and Wilke decides that he's going to keep that in his hands rather than risking a giveaway. So Canada do indeed get the last score. They run their lead to 2, and they lead 15-3 at the end of the first quarter. Back for the second quarter here in the second semi-final. A reminder that Australia cruised through the first semi-final, defeating Brazil 62-37. They pulled clear in the first quarter, Australia, and then after that, the Brazil coach, who's actually Canadian, he's actually from Quebec, Benoit Labrec, he decided to pull his big guns. He took off Braz and Feitosa, their 2 3.5, they're 2 high pointers, gave the others a bit of a run, and I think he was keeping his powder dry for the 3rd and 4th place playoff tomorrow, where Brazil will play the losers of this match, and the winner of that 3rd and 4th place playoff gets a bronze medal, but more importantly, a flight ticket to Paris for the Paralympics. Now, Canada have done exactly what every coach wants you to do, every game planner wants you to do. You get the last score of the first quarter and the first score of the second. So they've padded their advantage to 3. A lot going on in the key there, and a reaching foul has been called. No, the try was given.
Yeah.
So the penalty try after that reaching foul. And there, the universal symbol of timeout, a T. And that was because Trevor Hirschfield thought that he would not get the ball over the halfway line within the allotted 12 seconds. You have 12 seconds to get the ball over the halfway line.
And quite often, if you're a low pointer and you're surrounded by highs, you know, there's no way of you actually offloading the ball to anyone, so it's a safe call to do that.
Canada having used their first floor timeout. Pop nicely over the top. And Herbst gets it back to a 2-point game. You can see the possession arrow on that table in the middle there is pointing right to left now, and that's the direction in which Germany are attacking, so they will get the next possession either at the start of the 3rd quarter or if there is a held ball. So what Canada are going to be doing at some point is trying to have a held ball, like a jump ball in basketball, and players quite often call it a jump ball. There you can see Hirschfield leaning in. If they can, either of those two, if they can immobilize the ball, and the referees would say that that's a held ball, and then the next contested possession, the possession arrow would change.
And the German players just trying to get under Canada, and they've trapped him temporarily.
Medel gets through with some good blocking from Hirschfield. And he was always going to have enough push to get past Veke. Canada still running with the 2 one-pointer co-captains, Dagenet and Hirschfield. Rio Kovac with the glasses, and Zach Medel. And Germany going with their starting lineup. I think they're going to run that starting lineup for as long as possible in an attempt to live with Canada. Wilke has 13 seconds to go. Decides that Herbst is a better option, down to 7 seconds on the shot clock. Veke reverses over the line and gets the score. Patience is a virtue.
Kovac trying to work out a...
Zach Medel is very much the get-out-of-jail-free card for any team that he plays for. You throw the ball forward and assume that if it's within 10 yards of him, he'll pick it up.
Absolutely. Just the ability to swing the chair around when you've got core, so having stomach muscles makes a huge difference with your ability in a chair.
Well, you were talking earlier about the different types of players. Before the match started, you briefly touched on it, but the different types of players that you have in wheelchair rugby.
Yeah, so congenital impairments, so lots of whānau who are born with their impairments, and then primarily the sport was developed around spinal cord injury and tetraplegia. So, you know, like I was saying, lots of us, we have nerve pain and spasm and a whole lot of different things that potentially don't happen with other impairments. So it's quite a different... There's a lot of things to consider that you don't see when you see these incredible athletes out there.
But Zach Medell, for example, is a different kind of player.
Dynamic, and I just I see these guys and they're a bit like a fridge with a V8. You know, imagine that hitting you at pace.
So you have the spinal cord, those with spinal cord injuries, and then the quad amputees, and that's a completely different kind of morphology.
Different kind of body, different kind of function, physiology. Lived realities are entirely different.
And so we see him here, and that's why his classification is 3.5.
So the highest you can be in wheelchair rugby. Quite well matched, those two.
Wilke fires one out to Herbst. Kripke trying to keep an eye on Medell.
And she just takes up space by just sitting in a particular spot. It means that pass isn't on. Like, Medell will not be able to intercept it purely by where she's just sitting. So that kind of knowledge, and it's just, you know, she's obviously been playing this game a while. And there he goes again.
Is he a 3.5 or is he a 4?
It looks, has
he's
to be.
He's a 3.74, I think, obviously. Yes, he's...
All 4 limbs are affected. That's primarily the measuring. And hopefully they called timeout before he hit the deck.
So Wecker was in possession of the ball, and if you then take it to the ground, it's a turnover. So did he call timeout? I think there was a gesture there with his hands, trying to say that he called timeout. Svenja Paul picking him up. And yes, Germany, you can see they're down to 2-2, so they took their second floor timeout. That literally was a floor timeout, wasn't it? He was about 2 inches off the floor before he called it.
Absolutely. So Medell just marking him. Dangerous on the line pass, had to be quick, because if you go over and back in this game, then it's a turnover. Yes,
much along the lines of basketball, the front court violation. If you go into the front court then back into the back court, then you lose possession. Christoph Werner there, who has been coach of this Germany team for a good few years now. Germany came very close to booking, much along the lines of Canada, who got to the final of the Parapan Games and then lost to USA and had to go by this qualification tournament. Ditto Germany. They played Denmark in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. Europe getting 3 slots this time around. It was only going to be 2, but France, the host nation, were there automatically. And they ended up winning the Euros, which was the qualification tournament. Germany now need to get this ball over the line. And another timeout called.
It wasn't going to be over in 12. There was none of the players were up there waiting. They just couldn't. Canada just held them down.
So Germany trying to hang within 3 points, 2 if they can score from this possession, but they've used up 3 of their 4 timeouts now. So at the Euros that were held in May 2023 in Cardiff, the top 2 teams would book their spots for Paris 2024, and France were there already as the host nation. They ended up winning the whole thing. They defeated Great Britain in the final, so Great Britain got through, and then the 3rd place team also got through. And the losing semi-finalists faced off, and it was Denmark versus Germany. Denmark won it 53-50, so Germany were within 4 tries or 2 or 3 turnovers of making it directly, and here they are having to earn it the hard way. Denmark, who've really come on in recent years, they hosted the World Championships 18 months ago in Vejle. They finished 4th in their group, but there were 12 teams there, and they had quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals. So they were 4th in their group and played top of the other group, which was France, and they somehow managed to catch them cold and win that quarter-final. Probably the home court advantage that they had.
That's stunning. They must be so happy.
And it's really seen Danish wheelchair rugby come on. They hosted the Euros a few years ago, hosted the World Championships as well. So it's great to see the development of the sport there.
Another reaching foul, this time by Germany.
And it's Florian Bongard who has gone into the sin bin. Made a couple of changes there. Britta Kripke has gone off, as has Stefan Wecker. And then we have Florian Bongard who's come on. And Moritz Brückner. Bongard a 1-pointer, Brückner 1.5-pointer. A few changes as well for Canada. You can see Cody Caldwell out there, number 9. He's the one there tracking Brückner. Rodrigue is also on as well, and then Anthony Letourneau, the number 21, with the similar goggles to Rio Kovac. Into the last 2 minutes, Canada leading it by 3 points.
And look, he's been given so little room to move. They're just all over him.
You can see the shot clock, 10 in the corner there, and
Well
you could
done.
hear the German team counting down. Just over 90 seconds to go, so this is where the time stamps come in. You want that last possession, you want the last score.
And there'll be a long pass in a second, and away he goes.
Zach Medell once again.
An attempted pick, but there's no way you're stopping that. You see the front of those chairs? For those of you who are unfamiliar with wheelchair rugby, the low point players have long chairs like this with the pick bar at the front, and that's used for blocking or screening, similar to gridiron. And also you can actually trap and grab those rounded front chairs, which are your higher functioning players.
Trying to trap and grab the ball there was Marco Herbst, and it just gone out of his reach. So a turnover. Letourneau, that's a wonderful pass there from him. Letourneau is a 2-pointer, so he's got good function, a good pass. Medell now is going to wind this clock down. You can see the shot clock there, 28 seconds. He's probably going to wait till 55 seconds. He's going to charge in now and score with 55 seconds left. 54.1. Zach decides to make a liar of me for 0.9 seconds, for 1.3 seconds in fact, but that means that even if Germany take all 40 seconds of the shot clock to score, Canada will have the last possession of the quarter.
Beautiful. It's about chair position. If you can get your axle in front of the other player's axle when you're trying to rush to the line like that, you're gonna make it past them.
Reaching foul. So a foul there by Josko Vilke. He goes to the sidelines. He is penned in, and he will be there for 1 minute or until Canada score. And it's pretty clear that Canada are going to score when it suits them, and when it suits them will most likely be when there is 0.1 seconds left on the clock.
And like we were saying earlier, it makes sense. Germany have got to stay away from that line, because if you get knocked over, then another one of you will be in the bin, and that's the last thing you need right now.
Yeah, the Canadians counting down. .6 seconds left. Excellent timing. A Hail Mary, but the buzzer goes, and at the big break, Canada have done it again. They won the first quarter by 2 points, the second quarter by 2 points, so they've won the half by 4. Canada lead 28-24. Back for the second half. Canada leading by 4 points. And that deficit is immediately reduced because it was Germany who had the possession arrow. As you can see, Germany have made a few changes. Most notably, they have number 24 out there, Mascha Mosel, a 20-year-old 2.5-pointer. And the great thing with having a female player out there, as was the case with Britta Kripke earlier, means that they can play an extra 0.5 out there. Jens Sauerbier with the inbound there. Stefan Wecker back out as well. And Sauerbier loses the ball and Medel picks it up. So the best laid plans of mice and men and women. And all of a sudden it ends up in the lap. A perfect lap pass to Trevor Hirschfield. So Germany being picked off a couple of times there. Jens Sauerbier has come on, the two-pointer, and he's lost a couple of his inbounds, and all of a sudden this match has got away from Germany. It was a 4-point deficit. Germany had possession as well, so it should have been down to 3, and now it's up to 6. Wilke's still out there. Herbst's been given a rest. And it's a difficult balance for their coach, Christoph Werner, to strike. Because if they win this, they get through to the final and they qualify for the Paralympics. But they have to be realistic and think, are they really going to overcome a 4-point deficit against Canada? If not, should they not run their lines, give everyone a bit of court time and match practice, and also give the likes of Marco Herbst, Britta Kripke a rest? Because tomorrow they will likely be playing in the bronze medal match, and the winner of that also gets a Paralympic berth. So it could well be that discretion is being the better part of valor here for the Germans. Now, Amanda, yesterday you accused me of coming out with an 18th century saying. Is discretion the better part of valor? Is that up to date enough? Gosh. Is that 19th century, 20th century?
I just think you've got the wrong audience, really. You know, maybe just start lecturing English literature or, you know, history.
Sounds like I better press the off button on my commentary mic and let you do the remainder of the second half then?
No, I'm good, thanks. No, I'm good. I'll just stick to cheeky comments. And
Sauerbier with the inbound, and fortunately for him, Canada are setting up in the key, so there was no danger on his inbound there. And there they are sitting just outside the key. Wilke backed in by Medel. Imagine having to get the ball around that accurately, and yet he does so. Well worked there. A good key attack by the Germans.
It's quite tricky because on offense you can't spend any longer in the key than 10 seconds. So what was happening there is the Canadian players were attempting to hold number 24 in the key.
Sauerbier to Wecker. Debley's out there, and another loose pass and another turnover. Medel picks it up.
Passing over hands is just so dangerous, especially when they're his.
Well, the safest way of scoring a try is by sticking it in your lap and going as fast as you can, but obviously that doesn't work a lot of the time. So,
or alternatively, using your screens and gently making your way up the court.
Mosel against Medel.
She's got to bounce or pass every 10 seconds in wheelchair rugby, and that was difficult because if she bounced, that ball would have got stolen.
So her teammate Sauerbier came up and got the pass for her. Good hands there by Wilke. Dell, a huge pass out to Debley. And all of a sudden, it's a 7-point game. It should have been 3 down to 2. It was 4 points in favour of, and it goes away again. You can see that comes off Sauerbier. Things really haven't gone well for Sauerbier. He's only been on for 3 minutes and 37 seconds, but he's committed, I think, 4 turnovers. His teammates all giving him a slap on the back and trying to G him up, but this match has got out of hand as far as the Germans are concerned. Sauerbier is the one struggling.
Bunch of subs right now.
Sauerbier is staying out. Moritz Brückner is coming in alongside him. Marco Herbst back on. That one over the top there to Michael Whitehead. So that man, Zach Medell, leaves with a 7-point advantage. That becomes 8 as Michael Whitehead, who's replaced him in the high pointer stakes, comes in and scores immediately.
Reach.
Very clearly illustrated there. Referee Madison Little from the USA showing exactly what happened. And so Whitehead goes into the bin. Germany now 4 on 3 and 8 on 5 since they've got 3 points in the bin. Herbst taking his time. He's also got Travis Muraun and Rio Kovac for company, so it's not making it easy for him. Again, needs to pass or bounce, and Sauerbier is going to feel a bit better about himself now because he's going to go over for a try or an assist. So Byron Green has also come out for Canada, low pointer. And Germany's low pointer there as well. Florian Bongard is out. So the teams very much going through their squads, keeping in mind that they have a match tomorrow, either the final, and it looks like being Canada who will meet Australia, or the 3rd and 4th place match, and it looks like Germany will be taking on Brazil. Germany-Brazil promises to be an absolute cracker. Those matches tomorrow, 7th versus 8th, will be up at 11 o'clock, and that is Switzerland versus Colombia. And then 3 versus 4 at 1:30, likely Germany versus Brazil. 5 versus 6, that'll be New Zealand against the Netherlands. New Zealand and the Netherlands going at it again. They played in the group stages, New Zealand losing 36-44. But they came out today and gave a much better account of themselves, defeating Colombia 49-42 to make it through to the 5th place playoff. That New Zealand match will be at 4 o'clock local time, and then at 6:30 we will have the final. All of the matches, of course, being played here at the New Zealand Campus for Innovation and Sport in Upper Hutt. So if you're in the area or reasonably near the area, or just fancy seeing the absolute peak of wheelchair rugby live, then do come along.
Beautiful hands.
Sauerbier looking a lot more at home when he's further up the court than when he's inbounding. Christian Riedel saying it may have come off me last, but I'm not playing. So a bit of fortune there for Canada, a loose ball that ended up rolling off a German shoulder. Herbst needs to get the ball over the halfway line within 12 seconds, and then Bongard realising that he wouldn't have the hands to get that one in. As we have a look at the Dutch team there, we had Hector Loma and Reda Houam, the Dutch team that will be taking on New Zealand for 5th place tomorrow. Whitehead with a stop and start.
Easy roll by Kovac. See, the Canadians are trying to make it hard for them to get it across the half and 12, which they're clearly doing. And a steal there.
Got a lot of ball handlers on the team at the moment, Canada. Other than Byron Green, the number 7 at the back, they've got 3 ball handlers. 3-pointer in Whitehead, 2.5 in Kovac, a 2 in Mouraun.
So just a beautifully balanced lineup. More hands, like Drew was saying.
So we're over the halfway line before the big hit. And picked up by Bruckner. Bruckner, a new addition to the team. As is Kovac for Canada, and he couldn't get his hands to that one. But once again, the bounce favours the Canadians. Going into the last minute here, Canada, even though they're now 10 points clear, they've opened up an extra 6 points compared with half-time, but they're still going to want to get everything right.
Salbia for the reach, possibly? No.
It looks like Marco Herbst is the one going off to the bin, so that means 3.5 points is on the sidelines, so that plays into Canada's hands. Canada, even though they're 10 points clear, have stretched it from 4 to 10 points in this third quarter alone. They're going to want to do the little things the right way. They're going to want to score at the right time. They're going to want to practice their drills. Who knows, maybe this will be the line that gets them over the line tomorrow when they play Australia. Whitehead letting the clock run down. Maybe that they take a timeout. Looks like that is going to be the case. Trying to draw a foul. Timeout called with 14.8 seconds on the clock. That is because the shot clock, which was about to expire, will be reset by that timeout. Gets an extra 15 seconds, so they can maintain possession and make sure that they get the last score of this quarter. Whitehead having to give it to Mouraun. 4.8 seconds to go. So there is a little bit of time for Germany. The problem for them is that Herbst was in the sin bin and then was trapped by Byron Green. So he had to say, I want to inbound to make sure he could come out. The clock starts now as soon as it's touched after the inbound. It was ambitious. Has time expired? Just about, yes it has. So Canada pulling away, extending their lead by 7 points. They are 43-32 to the good as we go into the final break. Back for the final quarter of this second semi-final. A reminder, in the first, Australia cruised past Brazil by a 25-point margin, so they are through to the final. And here, Canada looking to join them. They are 11 points clear of Germany. Anthony Letourneau is out there. In possession is Michael Whitehead. We've also got Joel Ewart out there, the number 30, who hadn't seen any game time thus far, and Byron Green at the back of the key. Ewart makes his presence felt straight away. And there we go, we have the flag bearer for Germany. He hasn't given up hope. Moritz Brückner with the inbound for Germany. Josko Wilke back out there. Masha Mosel could be the one picking this up. It's Jens Sauerbier. So both coaches digging deep, making sure everyone gets some game time, and also the fact that everyone gets some rest, because there are big matches ahead for Canada and Germany tomorrow. Canada in the final against Australia, assuming they win this, and they will be very keen indeed to lay down a marker as far as the Australians are concerned.
Beautiful big pass across the whole key.
Canada and Australia faced one another a couple of times last year in October. So while the Parapan Games were going on and the Americas were qualifying, just prior to that, Canada had a bit of a warm-up. It was the International Cup. It was held during the week in between the semi-finals and the final of the Rugby Union World Cup in France. It was held in Paris, and it was an invitational tournament, but very much the top teams in the world, Japan, France, USA, and then Canada, Australia were in there.
And Paul Sauerbier is in the bin for 4 in the key. So when you're defending your key, only 3 of your team members can be in the key on defence. He's going to be a bit mad at himself, I think.
4 on 3 for Canada. So yes, Canada defeated Australia in the group stages and then ended up losing to them in the final. It was a case of everyone beating everyone else in one of the groups. Japan, USA and France all beating one another. And then Australia and Canada getting through in the other group, and they ended up meeting in the final. And Australia won the tournament, so Canada will be keen to win this tournament if they get a chance to play Australia in the final. Brückner hemmed in by Whitehead and Letourneau. Sauerbier is the outlet. Wilke comes in and tries to make some room for his teammate. Ewart with some great blocking there, and unfortunately it came off his hand. But I don't think Ewart there is going to be too disappointed with the outcome. Provoked a loose ball. It doesn't reset the shot clock, so Germany still in trouble.
Beautiful. Sauerbier across the line there.
Whitehead was always going to have the push to get past Mosel. Canada have 2 floor timeouts left to take, should they so desire. Germany just the 1. They used up a lot of their timeouts early on, and in the first quarter they're only 2 points adrift, but they were using up their timeouts.
So they just have to let him on the court there, but that's all they got to do. Those wheels need to be on, and that's it. And they can hold him there, and he's a threat. So it's quite nice to keep him out of play.
So Letourneau totally trapped there by Sauerbier. But once again, they've managed to get the ball through a couple of sets of hands.
And Whitehead just picks it up easily, and
Coach Christoph Werner and assistant coach, player coach Christian Riedel Now, was that a legitimate hit or was it behind the axle?
It looked legitimate. Just a big guy hitting a smaller player. And when you get hit at pace, it doesn't really matter what, as long as you hit in the right place, the chair is going to go over.
So you can hit from in front, and that's very much what Letourneau did. He came around, got in front of the axle of Mosul and took her down. Mosul took her final time out as she was going down.
And just accidentally rolled out of court.
So unfortunately, she did the right thing in terms of the timeout to maintain possession, and then
just gave it away by accident.
She's having an equipment change. We haven't seen much of the mechanics in this match. So we have a look at that. Anthony Letourneau, who's the one who provoked that fall to the ground.
To Whitehead again, who just cruises. You see those two German players taking out the .5, that's a screen. Salbia down the court, cruising in for an easy try, which hasn't happened very often for Germany.
It hasn't, so they get it to within 25%. They're on 36, Canada on 48, a big hit. And once again.
And that massive one-handed pass from Whitehead. It's just beautiful.
Finding Joel Ewart.
Looking quite smiley in the Canada camp.
Well, it could well be that they're already booking their flights for Paris. They are 13 points clear with less than 5 minutes to go.
So it's a jump ball because Whitehead got his hand on the ball while I think it was Salbia was pushing.
So it immobilized the ball, not a reaching foul. It was, possession was contested either way. So with a contested possession, it means whoever's turn it is to get the next possession will get the ball. It's going to be Germany. Substitutions have been made. Canada with Travis Mouraun coming back on. Matt Deblee as well.
Oh, lucky catch. Smiling, he knows he almost lost it.
Mouraun gets it over the halfway line and manages to stay inside the sideline and finds Ewart sitting there. Right place, right time in the key.
Like when you look at some of these players, you know, if you're familiar with sport or you're a sports follower, you'll be like, some of them are quite old. And that's what's lovely about wheelchair rugby. It doesn't matter about your age. It's just about how long you want to keep playing and your level of function. And
I don't think any of them are old.
Well, we don't.
No.
No.
Christian Riedel, I think, is exactly my age, so he's in his prime, and the rest are...
But some of the incredible Japanese players are in their late 40s.
Indeed. There's Riyad Salem, the high pointer for France. They have one 3.5 pointer. They tend to use their two 3-pointers, Jonathan Hivernat and Sébastien Verdun. But they've got Riyad Salem with long, flowing grey dreadlocks. He's from Paris, and he's going to be bowing out in his home tournament at the Paralympics this year. He's in his early 50s.
Fantastic. In the old days in New Zealand, you'd lose 0.5, so you'd get an extra 0.5 on court for turning 50. So that would have me on I'd be on court as a 0.5. That would make me very happy.
You're a free hit.
I know.
A one-pointer who gained you a point, then...
Yeah. Look, another turnover.
And it's Deblee who picks that one up, the man from Michigan. And they are pulling further and further clear, the Canadians. They can almost taste the croissants and the baguettes. They are 3 minutes and 19 seconds away from booking a spot at the Paralympics at the end of August this year. That's why Zach Medell is all smiles. They've taken a coach's time out just to enjoy the moment, I think.
When you realise that it's sealed, it's a super exciting time for the team.
Bit different for Christoph Werner and Germany. They know they're going to have to come out tomorrow. The 3rd versus 4th place match is going to be at 1:30 local time. So that will be 00:30 Greenwich Mean Time. For those of you trying to work out around the world, because I know that there are people watching this all around the world.
And good on you, it's the best sport in the world, just saying.
Zaubeer manages to stay inside the sideline, and they're going to try to push Brückner over and back, and you could see the gesture there that it was indeed an over and back. You could see the gesture from Madison Little, the referee, quite clearly going over and back with her hand, so that's the equivalent of a basketball backcourt violation. So it's yet another turnover. Of course, as soon as I say we haven't had many equipment changes, here comes another one. Byron Green having his wheel changed.
It's just amazing, the sport. Like these wheelchairs are worth 12,000 New Zealand dollars, so 6,000 American. Wheels are $1,000 each. Like incredible cost in accessible disability sport.
But as we mentioned earlier, if you go along to your local club and say, I would like to play, they will lend you a chair. We promise you that.
Absolutely. Like even in the Bay of Plenty, and we're a very small region, we have about 6 extra chairs that are available for anyone who comes along and wants to have a go. So here in New Zealand, you look up your local parafed or your local disability sports provider, and generally in the library of gear are wheelchair rugby chairs.
Marco Helps getting a bit of a massage there. He's going to stay on the sidelines and keep his powder dry and try and get the lactic acid out of his biceps there before the 3rd and 4th place match tomorrow, when Germany are going to take on Brazil.
Is that what you do when you're finished commentating?
Try and get the lactic acid out of my vocal cords. I just shut up.
There you go.
16 points the difference. Canada can afford to enjoy themselves now. Masha Mosul once again. Was there a timeout left? I think there was a timeout left. Looking quite despairing there.
Yeah.
I think she was still gesturing for that timeout. Way after she'd hit the ground.
But as long as you call it, you don't even have to, doesn't have to be the symbol, as long as you're yelling timeout.
Obviously that wasn't the case, since Germany had used up all of their floor timeouts, so it's a turnover. Devley forces his way through, burrows his way into the key and over the line. That lead is getting bigger and bigger. Australia won by 25. Canada now 17 points clear.
And just turnover. Oh, Mosel, good girl, nice pickup.
That was well done by the pair of them there, both Schwarz and Mosel. They're not out of the woods yet.
Zaubeer in the right place.
That was very well done there by the Germans in the end. Brückner, Mosel, some good work by them. Zaubeer managing to outpace Joel Ewart. Canada going to take their time now. They've got a couple of floor timeouts that they may want to take. Shot clock down to 20. Germany setting up just outside the key. Canada now, you get the feeling they're going to try to run set plays. 16 and now 17 points clear, so they're going to be working on their drills. Into the last minute of this second semi-final.
And low pointer there with the ball, with some great pace.
Young Moritz Brückner. Jens Sauerbier over the top to Florian Bongard. Canada now will no doubt be looking to use all 40 seconds there. Bit of a reach. But the referee, Madison Little, lets play go on.
"25 seconds.
Celebration starting early.
I think maybe he was in the key for too long. No?
4 in the key, I do believe, and they've decided that Jens Sauerbier is the one who's going to have to sit out the last 11.2 seconds of this match. Debley looking to go over. He does so with 1.3 seconds to go. The victory is well and truly iced for Canada. As the buzzer goes, Canada win the second semi-final, 58-41. They have made it to the final of the 2024 Wheelchair Rugby World Paralympic Qualification Tournament, but more importantly for them, they have booked their ticket for Paris 2024. At the end of August, they're going to be flying over, landing in Charles de Gaulle Airport, and they will then be battling it out with 7 other teams for Paralympic gold. An excellent performance by them, and it was quite simply a case of they had the better squad.
Absolutely.
They took care of business, and they managed to give a lot of their players a rest ahead of tomorrow's final. Germany, likewise, they held with them. It was a high-scoring first couple of quarters, and they were only 2 points adrift, Germany, at the end of the first quarter, 4 points adrift at the end of the second, so they were still just about in it. And then a raft of turnovers at the start of the third quarter meant that Zach Medell there, the number 33, could be taken off, given a rest, rested for the final. Germany's coach Christoph Werner also resting some of his big guns ahead of the third and fourth place match tomorrow. A reminder that Germany will take on Brazil at 1:30 local time, not only for the bronze medal here, but for the third and final, the 8th and final Paralympic berth. 7 have already been decided, and there is 1 left up for grabs. Germany now focusing on tomorrow's match already. The Canadians, though, they are celebrating.
Look at those faces. They're going to Paris. Fantastic. Be such a different experience this year without COVID. There'll be packed stands and
there'll be spectators.
Exactly.
Full stop.
I know.
3 years ago in Tokyo 2020, that was held in 2021, there were no fans, there were just entourages. So it was very difficult. There were screens up for people to be able to celebrate with their family back home. It was such a strange experience. You would see medal winners running up to a screen, and there would be Zoom calls that had been set up by the organisers for people to talk to their family back home, whereas here they're going to be able to pick up flags, run around packed stadiums or push around packed stadiums, celebrate with their families, with their fans. It's going to be a wonderful experience in Paris this Northern Hemisphere summer. Now, we're going to have a word with one of those Canadians that has just booked his ticket for Paris, Rio Kovac.
Rio, family's going to have to start saving some money. The Paralympics ticket's been booked for the team. How do you feel after that?
I really feel good. The team did what we came here to do, qualify, and we'll see Australia in the next game.
What was the turning point in the game? It was pretty tight for a long time there. What was the big moment that really changed things for you guys out there?
I think we just stuck to our game plan. We got those timeouts in the first quarter, and we just slowly chipped forward. And yeah, we just got it done.
Looking at tomorrow, Australia, what do you think the big matchups are going to be as that game there?
You know, Australia is a 2-time gold medalist. I think it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a lot of fight, but going in, I think just stick to what we do best: defense, spacing on offense, and if we play like we played today, I think we got it in the bag.
Awesome. All the best for it, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.
If we play like we play today, we've got it in the bag. So confidence there from the Canadian number 1, Rio Kovac. And now we're going to hear from someone who is
The whole way. How's the feeling in the squad leading in tomorrow?
The feeling's quite good. Besides this result, we tried to. I think we started in the first game, in the first half. We were pacing up with them. Unfortunately, we cannot sub as we wanted prior to the tournament, and yeah, we have not this broad bench as our international leading teams. So yeah, we tried our best over there in the second half, and yeah, I think everybody can be proud to play and to give their heart out.
Tomorrow's a big game. What's going to be the thing that's going to get you guys across the line and book that ticket to Paris?
First of all, recovery, yeah. Besides, or let's say we tried it in the first half and then we skipped down a little bit. But yeah, for tomorrow we need to gain the composure again. We know their lines, we played a lot against them, and I think we have a good game plan for tomorrow. And yeah, it's on a daily basis, let's say, yeah, who gets fresher out of bed, and I think we are confident enough to gain this ticket and to advance to Paris.
Awesome. Go enjoy your dinner, rest up, play well tomorrow.
Jens Sauerbier there, and what he said I think applies to us all. We all need a bit of recovery between now and tomorrow.
It's going to be such an interesting watch tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be absolutely huge. We're going to start off at 11 o'clock with Switzerland versus Colombia for 7th place. Then at 1:30 local time, so New Zealand time, Brazil versus Germany for that final Paralympic berth to see who finishes 3rd here as well. 4 o'clock local time here in New Zealand. New Zealand looking to get their revenge on the Netherlands. Netherlands beat them 44-36 in their opening group game, but Netherlands, they've had an incredible tournament. New Zealand now looking resurgent with Maya Marshall-Amai having been classified down. That means they can change lines, have better lines, better players. So New Zealand absolutely gunning for 5th place ranking points, pride in front of their home crowd. That's at 4 o'clock. And then at 6:30, the final between the 2 winning semi-finalists from today. Australia, who defeated Brazil 62-37, and Canada, whom we have just seen see off Germany by a score of 58-41. Germany still waving the flag. They will come out tomorrow in a bid to secure that final Paralympic berth. But 2 teams have booked their tickets for Paris today. Australia and then Canada. Canada waving goodbye to us there as they warm down. We're going to wave goodbye to you. Thank you for watching today, and please join us from 11 o'clock local time tomorrow.